Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today for our feature recap for the month of June. Let's get started. So just a few housekeeping notes. This session is specific to new features that have been released in Astalty, so please ensure that any questions that you have are directly related to the features that we discussed during the session. If you do have any other questions, we're more than happy to answer them via support or in a future training session, or if time permits at the end of this session as well. You can ask those questions using the chat function, and this session is being recorded and will be uploaded to the training guide after the session. Using our chat function, please click on the icon on the bottom right of your Google Meet screen. When asking questions, just make sure to include as much detail as you can. And like I mentioned, there will be a short time at the end to respond to those questions. If there is any additional spare time, we can take further questions using the raise your hand function as well. And to use that, you'll just click on the hand icon at the bottom of Google Meet. That lets me know that you have a question. And when I let you know that you're right to speak, Google Meet will lower your hand for you. If you no longer need to ask the question, though, you can just press that button again and it will lower your hand for you. Alrighty, so let's jump into our June releases. I will just change the screen that I am sharing for you guys. And I've accidentally just stopped sharing. Let's try that again. Okie dokie. Can everyone see that screen now? Fantastic. Alrighty, so the first thing we want to cover, this is a very highly requested feature, the implementation of our SMS functionality. This is a two-way SMS function. It is currently in beta, so for anyone who would be interested in giving this a go, please reach out to our support team to have this added to your account. You can email us at support@astalty.com.au or reach out to us through the support button in your Astalty browser, and we'll be more than happy to enable this on your account for you. So our two-way SMS functionality provides users with a dedicated Australian mobile number, which can send and receive SMSs with participants and contacts inside Astalty. Inbound replies land in a shared SMS inbox, and the same number can send automated SMS reminders as well. Now, this is for both your scheduling platform as well as calendar events as well. Now, to enable this, we do this from our settings menu, and this does need to be done by the account owner. So we'll navigate to settings and we'll head to SMS. And when you are first entering this section, you'll see that there is an option to enable this. We have already enabled this on our demo account, as you can see here. Through that process, you will also be able to select your mobile number based on the predefined options that we have available for you at the time. Now, from here, you will need to agree to the terms, choose and confirm that phone number, as I mentioned, and then grant inbox access on a per user basis via the user permissions. Now, we can also set notifications to be sent to specific user groups when inbound messages are received. And to do that, we simply click on the edit icon here. And from this drop down, we have the ability to select multiple user groups. So this is a perfect way to make sure that the right people are receiving those notifications. At this stage, it is just based on user groups at this point in time. Now, to grant access to the inbox, you can do this by heading to the user's profile. We'll have a look at, actually, we will work from a different page here. Let's swap to this one. And we'll go back into our users, and let's have a look at our manager here, Barbara. Under the permissions tab, we have the ability to toggle the permissions here to access the SMS inbox. Now, you can do this for all of your team members, managers, and admin staff to be able to access and respond to those messages in the SMS inbox. Now, to access your SMS inbox, you'll see at the top right-hand corner of your page, there is a little iPhone or device icon here. You'll click on that one there, and that will show you all of the messages that have been received to your mobile number. Now, it is important to note that this is a paid add-on. The mobile number is $15 per month. per number, and you will be charged 10 cents per outbound message segment. So just make sure to review that information when you are configuring chat on your account. We do also handle the automatic opt-out as well. So if a participant or a stakeholder replies to a message and says stop, then we are able to identify that, and you'll see an identifier on here that shows a circle with a line through it to show that they have opted out, and you'll also see a prompt down the bottom of the page as well. We can see here that there has been an attempt at that today. So the user contacted us and said stop. An alert appeared on the page here to let us know that that was the case, and when they then send a message back saying start, it removes that opt-out for us, so we can once again engage. It is just important as well to make sure that you are getting that consent from your user base or your customers to make sure that they are happy to receive those messages from your team as well. Beautiful. So as we can see here, we have had a message come through as well from one of our participants where we've sent an automatic reminder. I'll touch on this briefly in a moment as well, but we can also reply to those messages here directly from the chat function or the SMS function as well. Let's jump in and have a look at our chat function as well. This is something that's been requested by quite a few users with our read-only channels. So let's have a look at our Monday team stand-up. If we wanted to make this channel a read-only, we would go to our Actions menu and select Manage Channel. We then have this option to toggle on our read-only on this particular channel. Now, historically, the read-only function then only allowed the person who created that chat group to be able to post to that channel. We now have the ability to add specific users to be able to post content on that particular chat as well. And we can do that by navigating to the three-dot menu next to the relevant users' details, and we can toggle to allow posting. So now not only the person who created this channel, but also the user here who's been selected can also post to that channel as well. A great feature if you do have an admin team who are required to post those updates to a read-only channel. Alrighty, let's have a look now at our SHADS pay report. Now, this is a new report that shows interpreted SHADS pay hours per employee for a pay period broken down by rate and allowance type. Now, this is set up based on the information that you have configured in your scheduling settings. So from the settings menu, we go to scheduling and click on edit in the top right hand corner, and our period type here, our pay period type, is what determines the information that's captured in that SHADS report. So just make sure that that aligns with your current pay period. Now, it's important to note this is for people who are using our scheduling function. There's 2 entry points for this particular report. So we can access this through our scheduling function and through timesheet batches specifically. For those of you who are using Xero as your payroll platform, this is available to you. If we have a look at our timesheet exports here, we have this SHADS interpretation on the left-hand side here. Now, what this does is provides a clear overview for our team as to what hours have been completed during this current pay period, and provides a snapshot based on the number of employees, the total ordinary hours, overtime hours, total hours, and the kilometres that apply where relevant as well here. Now, a great additional feature with this is the fact that you can break this down per user as well. So, for instance, if we toggle down on Damien's time here, we can see exactly what pay item has been applied for this particular pay week and how many hours has been applied there as well. We can also see the interpretation trace. This lets us know what particular shifts actually triggered this particular record to apply. So we can see that information listed here and what allowances would be relevant where appropriate. Now, in addition to this, we can also see this information from another landing place as well. You will also see at the top of this report here that we have identified that there is an employee who can't be shown in this report. They have completed shifts during the pay period. However, because they don't have an employment contract configured in their profile, they are excluded from this information. So we can actually navigate directly to that particular user's profile and amend their contract, but I'll also show you from our reports menu how this looks as well. So from reports, we can search for SHADS. We can also find this underneath the scheduling tab here as well. And when we click into this report, we also then have the ability to sort our date range here too. So rather than just working to the actual timesheet batch that we've exported through our timesheet function in scheduling, we can toggle back a week here and we can have a look at this pay period 29th to the 5th. If we want to address Clara's details not appearing in this particular report, we have the ability to click on her profile and it will navigate us through to her profile so we can make those necessary adjustments. Now, I know from my previous knowledge of Clara's employment that she actually did have an existing contract. So I'm going to cancel out of this one here, and instead I'm going to view all employment details. And from here, we can see there was an existing contract. If we click on the three dots and click edit, we have the ability to remove that end date. So say, for instance, in this particular scenario, Clara had an end date applied that was incorrect. She actually hasn't finished up working with us. We can simply close or remove that particular end date there, click update. And when we go back to our report, we can now see that Clara's details are now visible in this SHADS report as well. So we can now see all of the hours that are applicable to her for that particular pay period. Now, in addition to this, we also have an itemized lines list here as well, which breaks down each of the days that the support was carried out and the hours that apply to that particular pay rate. So this is just a great way for you to have that general oversight. It is important to note, though, this is just looking at the hours that have been completed for that particular pay period. It's not a reflection of what's actually going to be paid to the staff. Now, we do have another beta function that is available at the moment, and this is called scheduling costs. You'll find that through scheduling, this does need to be enabled by our support team as well. So if you are interested, definitely reach out to us on this. But scheduling costs here allows you to have a look at what it's going to cost you for the week based on the support worker, based on participant. Provides a really good oversight in that respect. So if we were to toggle back a week and we'll have a look at our list of employees here, the cost by employee, if we want to have a look at what it's going to cost to pay Clara for the hours she's completed this week, we can see this information displayed here in our wages, our allowances, what super is applicable, and the ongoing costs as well. So this is a great tool to utilize when looking at what the costs are for your organisation to run and make sure that you are running at a profit. So if that is something that you're interested in, please definitely reach out to our support team. We can certainly enable that on your account as well. Alrighty, so we'll have a look now at our site utilization. So for those of you who have been using Astalty for a while, I'm sure you'll know that within a participant's profile, we'll have a look at this participant here. We have our utilization, which shows us all of the services that that participant has currently got within their current NDIS plan. For those who are now using our sites functionality, we also have the ability to see this at a glance from the site itself. So let's jump into Acacia House here, and we're going to have a look at the utilization tab. Now, rather than just being for an individual participant, this now shows us a breakdown of utilization based on all of the participants who are assigned to this particular site. Now, on this, we do have the ability to set our service category. So once you apply a service category to this utilization report, Astalty will remember your selection, and the next time you come back, this is the service category that will be displayed. And we can see here we've got our assistance with daily life selected. If we change this to assistance with social and community, any service that has been set up for the particular participant in that property will be displayed in this list as well. We'll just go back and have a look at our SIL though, as that's the most appropriate for this particular site arrangement. And from within here, we also have the ability to see the breakdown of the participant, the actual service, what was funded, what's been claimed, the remaining value, the percentage of funding utilised, and whether or not we're underspending or overspending. And just as you can with your participants' profiles, you can click down on each of these particular utilisation records to see that in a bar graph as well, just as we can where those have funding periods applied to. So you're seeing that same information across each of your utilisation platforms there as well. Okie dokie. Another question that's come up recently is being able to see aged receivables data. So for those of you who are using a platform such as Xero, you would know that you have the ability to look at these aged receivables reports. Astalty has now enabled the same sort of functionality within our platform as well. So I'm just going to share a different page here for you. And let's go to our reports menu. Now, under our finance, we're going to see this aged receivables report. This is currently in beta, but it is accessible to anyone who has access to the finance module within their account. So we'll click into this and we'll have a look at a little bit more information. This is a point in time view of what's owed, by whom, and how overdue as at any chosen date. And that's selected by this as at date, which you'll find here. It's built around NDIS funding types. So you'll see NDIA, plan and self-managed options available in this report, similar to Xero's aged receivables summary. So once you've set your as at date to calculate outstanding amounts that are at that date, you'll see that information reflected in these tabs along the top here as well. They're broken down into less than a month, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and older. And then you have your full total outstanding based on the as at date that you've selected. Now, you can group these results as well. So we have the ability to group by payee or participant. We also have the ability to apply filters such as management type. This makes it really easy if you are just wanting to seek out specific funding sources to make payment for outstanding debts. But in addition to this, we also have the ability now to click on the drop down next to that particular payee, and we can see the affected invoices that are outstanding. So this also shows the aging period and additionally allows you to navigate directly to that invoice so that you can send that off for review by that recipient as well. So this is a great tool to keep on top of your outstanding debts. And like I mentioned, while it is in beta, it is available to anyone who has access to finance. So please have a look over this. Reach out to us if you have any questions. We're always keen to hear feedback on our beta releases. Just in addition to that, you can also toggle on the participant filter as well, which allows you to search by a specific participant here as well. Now, when we do toggle to our grouping by format and we select participant, we'll just clear this filter here, we do also see the participant's NDIS number displayed in this list as well. And the breakdown here then only shows invoices reflecting to that particular participant as well. Alrighty. So at the start of the session, we talked about our two-way SMS functionality. I just wanted to have a chat about our participant reminder status report. So with our participant reminders, this is something that's toggled on from each participant's profile individually. So let's have a look. We're going to jump across to a different page again, sorry. We'll just jump in and have a look here, and we might just adjust. We'll have a look at Aileen's profile. Now, by default, SMS reminders will be turned off for all participants until you have sought out that confirmation from them that they're happy to receive that communication. And you then have the ability to toggle that feature on for them by selecting the More option at the bottom of their user profile. And under Reminder Settings, we simply click on Edit, and we choose which reminders this participant receives, whether that be support reminders through scheduling or calendar appointment reminders, which you use through your calendar event creation. We'll click on Close here. Once we have that configured, we also need to make sure that we've set up our actual reminder status. So to do that, we'll head to our settings in the main menu. And from here, under SMS, we'll see we've got a reminders option. When we come into here, we have the ability to set up our support reminders. Now, we've already created our reminders for both scheduling and also for calendar. But if we click on the 3 dots to the right here and select Edit, we have the ability to set our reminder windows. We have 3 options available. You can remind participants or stakeholders 48 hours, 24 hours, or an hour beforehand, or all 3 if that's your preference. And we insert a placeholder here to provide context around what that appointment is. So you can reset the default, which is what we've got here. You can also override this and you can add information as you please. Now with these placeholders here, you can select whatever specific information it is that you'd like to display in that message to the user or to the participant or stakeholder. And these are automatically submitted based on the timeframes prior to that particular support being carried out. So let's have a look at the report that identifies where this all stands. We'll go to Reports, and in our search, we can look up our reminder, participant reminder status. This also sits underneath your participants tab in the report section. Now from here, we see a host of information. We see the participant's name, whether or not they have support and calendar reminders enabled or disabled. We also see information relating to their mobile status. Now, if they have a valid mobile, that's displayed here with a green chip. If their information is missing, we see that identified as well. Now, what we can do here as well is from the three-dot menu, we have the ability to view the participant. And I'll share this tab instead to show where we landed here. Like I showed just before, to make those adjustments, we head down to the More tab in the participant's profile, and we adjust those settings through the reminder settings here. To update the participant's profile to reflect their mobile number, just make sure to head to the right-hand panel here, click on Edit in the top right-hand corner and adjust their mobile number. It is important to remember that mobile numbers are unique across the system, so you won't be able to have the same mobile number reflected in multiple participants' profiles. In those instances, if you do have concerns about that, please feel free to reach out to us and we can assist with information on how to manage that appropriately. Alrighty. Let's jump into our exports now. We'll have a look at our shifts exports. So to do this, we can access our exports by clicking on Create Export. And under shifts, we have a couple of options here. We've got shifts and completed shifts. Now, what we've added to these particular exports is the ability to export based on participant tag as well. So for your date range, you can select specific participants. You can also select participant tags. So if you have complex participants or perhaps some risk participants that you want to see their specific shift information, you now have the ability to do that from within this report. But what's important to note is that it's not going to double up information. So say, for instance, we had Maxine listed here, and Maxine, actually, we'll use Aileen as a perfect example. Aileen also actually falls under our complex tag system here as well. So if we generate that export and have a look at another page here, which I'll just change what I'm sharing. This is the shifts export that you would see. When we do our search for Aileen, we see only the support that she has actually been included in during this time period. It's not duplicating, simply because she's been listed as a participant and also as part of our tagging system as well. So this is a really good way to see what supports have been carried out based on specific participants or the tags that they are attached to as well. Now, just for your reference, when we're talking about tags, let's just share the other screen as well. We are looking at this one here. When we talk about those tags, we'll jump into Aileen's profile. We're talking about these tags that we apply at the top of the participant's profile. Alrighty, let's move on to our user records export. Now, this one here, again, is accessed through our exports menu, create export, and under users, you'll see you have a user records export here. Now, when you generate this export, I will share the other page here as well. The information that you see here includes a status column, which shows whether or not the record is current, awaiting verification, missing or expired. You'll also see the user's name, the record type that applies, the issue date of that record, and the expiry date where that's applicable. So this is a handy export for your team to use when reviewing those particular user records. Another thing that has come up quite a lot recently is managing role permissions for your user base. I'm just going to swap back to our Astalty instance. Okay, I think we're on the right page here. Beautiful. So historically, the way to update user permissions or role permissions is to do this individually from each user's profile. And the way we would do that is through the users menu, and we'll have a look at Barbara, for example. We'll have to go to the permissions tab here to make adjustments to the overarching manager role permissions, which we can do through this menu option. What we've now enabled through our settings is the ability to adjust permissions across a user type as a whole. So what we can see here under our permissions is our managers and our team members, and we can configure which permissions are available for each role. What's important to note here is that any changes that you make in this section will affect all of those users who fall under that particular user type role. So if we click on edit here, we now may want to provide a view of invoices for someone who does not have finance module access for our managers. If we apply this and click save, that now becomes available to anyone with that manager role type provided. The same applies for your team members. If we wanted to have the ability to view participant invoices, by selecting this toggle from this particular menu, you would then apply that same access level to all of your team members within your account. You do still have the ability to override the user's individual permissions. So if we head back to our users menu and we'll have a look at one of our team members here, from their permissions tab, when we click on edit, we do have the ability to see additional options that are user specific for those role permissions, and we can toggle those from here as well. We'll go ahead and click close on that one. Now, in keeping with our role permission updates is looking at how we manage user type conversions. So for those of you who are familiar with changing user types from team member to manager and admin, you'll know that you can do that through the edit role function. But for those of you who have got support workers on your team, you'll know that that function is or has not been available to you yourselves. So to be able to transfer or update a user's status from support worker to a team member, this is something that our team have had to initiate on your behalf. And that's because there is back-end adjustments that are required to your billing. We've now enabled this feature within your own account so that you can manage the conversion of your users from support worker to team member or team member to support worker simply by navigating to the change status function, and you have the option where the person is a team member to convert to support worker. Now, the way this works with your billing is if you're converting to a support worker from a team member, a credit will be applied to your account. When converting from support worker to team member, a pro rata charge will apply for the remaining period on your current subscription. So when you go through that process, you simply click on the option to convert and you'll be prompted with this information here. When you confirm, it will also provide you with that confirmation as to whether or not there is a credit or pro rata charge. Just because we're working in the demo landscape today, though, we're not able to see that particular information, but that's all going to be accessible for you through the user guide, which will be shared after the session on this particular recording as well. Okay. We'll now have a look at our minimum breaks between shifts. So you may be aware of scheduling alerts, which you'll see through your scheduling menu. We'll have a look here at schedule alerts. This breaks down by category. So we can see that we have broken shifts, fatigue management, overtime, and shift duration. So within a user's profile, we need to have their contract or employment details configured. So let's have a look at one of our team members, Chad Metz. Now, when we go down to HR and payroll and we view our employment details for this particular user, we'll go in and click edit. We can see that we have our minimum breaks, which at the moment has been configured to 10 hours award default. Now, this is standard across the platform. So if you have not come in here to make any adjustments, then this is where you would need to come in to make these changes. But basically, you'd need to have your minimum break identified as either your 10 hours or your 8 hours by agreement. What happens with this is that our system does capture when you are creating your supports if that minimum break time has not been applied, and it shows as an alert. So we'll go back to our schedule alerts. We'll have a look at our fatigue management here. And we can see here that we have for our support worker, Chad, we've identified that there is an alert where there is 7-hour break before this shift. So we have not met that 10-hour minimum. While this won't actually trigger any overtime or pay issues on their timesheet, it does alert your team that they need to review the roster and make adjustments to ensure that that fatigue management is being appropriately handled. So that is a great way to see that information. We do highly recommend utilising your schedule alerts to make sure that you are reviewing where that potential clash and lies for you to be either paying out overtime or broken shift allowances, or where that fatigue management does apply to those particular users. All right, we'll have a look at our note template usage type filters now. So for those of you who are using note templates, which can be used across the platform, we'll go to our settings menu and have a look at tasks and notes. These are particularly helpful for your support coordination team, for example, when you are creating tasks, because you can use a standard format for the information that you gather in those particular notes, as well as your support workers on the field in scheduling as well. What we've now implemented here is the ability to add a usage type filter so that you can refine the results on this particular note template down to a specific type. So say, for instance, we wanted to have a look at task notes. We can search for that through this menu option here, and only our task note usage types will display in this list now. Just makes it a lot easier to navigate when you have quite a few different note templates, as you can see we do here as well. With 31, we actually end up having to cross over 2 pages to review all of those particular templates. This just helps to narrow that result down as well. Now, in this search menu here, you have the ability to search by the note template name. So say, for instance, we wanted to have a look at our DocuSign email that we send out. We can search by the name. The filter itself only pulls information based on the actual usage type itself here. Now, you may also notice that there has been a bit of a change to the way that the user interface displays for your note template. So when we click into the 3 dots and select edit, you'll now see your usage type displayed as radio buttons here. So you can simply scroll down and find the relevant usage type that you want to select. You can also search. So if we wanted to change this to a support note type, we can simply toggle on and we can update, and that will change the usage type that this particular note applies to. We'll go ahead and click close for now. Now, something else that we wanted to touch on is the changes to the claim type specific line items. This has been a hot topic of conversation since the 1st of July, when the NDIA introduced their new billing structure for your therapy and support coordination line items, where the suffixes need to be included at the end for things such as cancellation, non-face-to-face, provider travel, required reports, and telehealth. Now, what we have noticed, and I'll touch on this briefly in a minute, sorry, the way that our structure works is for any charge items that were created prior to the 1st of July, so they already existed in your account and had been applied to users' profiles, we automatically apply that suffix for you on your behalf. You don't need to change anything in your charge item configuration. All you do is adjust the claim type on the task or support itself. So to demonstrate that, we'll have a look at our task list here. And if we have a look, we'll create a support for Aileen. And this will just be a therapy session. We're going to select our therapy charge item code here, and we'll apply some time to that one there as well. When we navigate into the support itself, we have our finance tab, and this is where we can make those adjustments to our claim type. So we can see here that by default, we have it configured to direct service. But if we change this to our non-face-to-face services, when we go and have a look at our finance batch, and we'll show you how that looks now, we'll close here and go to finance, create a batch, and let's just make this easy to search. We'll just add Aileen for reference. We can see that by default, Astalty has actually applied that suffix as required by the NDIA. So that is for those where you have already had those charge items pre-existing in your account. If you did not have those charge items listed prior to the 1st of July, you will need to go in and add those individual charge items with those suffixes manually. So to do that, you'd head to your settings menu, charge items, and you would add a charge item. From here, you can search through the NDIS pricing arrangements. So say, for instance, we had occupational therapy and we had non-face-to-face. you'll see that that line item actually includes the full suffix there as well. So that would need to be manually added in and then applied to each participant's service to make sure that you can select that from the task or support itself. Now, the issue that we have had identified over the past couple of days from our user base is that the NDIA are actually rejecting some of these claims. And it sounds as though the NDIA have yet to actually implement a solution to pick up on that new claim type, as well as identifying the suffix as well. So, Ivan, would you be happy to share a little bit of information about that for everyone, please?
No worries. So basically what we've had come up is that with anyone that's in the PACE or has a PACE plan, it looks like you can still claim with the suffixes at the end. However, the actual claim type needs to be put in as direct or standard. And if they're in the or have a Proto plan, because the bookings are set under the original item number, the suffixes don't seem to be going through at the moment. So they seem to be working more so with the original item number and the normal claim types at this stage. We aren't aware of any updates from the NDIS about when or this will be resolved or how they're going to be resolving it. So far, the best option we've had is where the providers have been making some adjustments to the bulk upload file to match that set of conditions. So that's what we have so far. It's confirming exactly where that's impacting and where it's not is a bit of a challenge at the moment, but hopefully that helps if you do come across it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Ivan. And something that we have seen coming back, and it's a bit confusing to users as well, is that the NDIA error shows that there is no service booking for that particular claim type, whereas other like direct services are being approved and paid. So it does look as though you don't have the correct relationship configured for that particular participant, but it comes down to the way that the suffix is being handled by their system. So if you do have any feedback and you are finding that there is a particular workaround that seems to get you by, please reach out to us and let us know what your experience is. But hopefully this is something that the NDIA will resolve for us in the near future. Okay, well, that brings us to the conclusion of those topics that we would be covering for the month of June. There have been other releases as well, and you're more than welcome to jump through our changelog and have a look at that information. While I've got you here as well, I did also just want to briefly show you that we have got a new user guide, which you may have seen. The content is still effectively the same. However, the display is different and the functionality is different as well. So this is our new user guide, and we have broken it down into segments to make it a little bit easier to digest. Jump in and have a look around here. Our search function has drastically improved as well. So if you are looking for specific functions within Astalty, say for instance, you wanted to find out how to email notes on a support, the way that our search function picks that up is a lot cleaner in this environment. So now we can navigate directly to that particular user guide content, which is fantastic. We also are looking to integrate additional features into here to make that searching even better, but that will come with time, and we'll certainly provide updates when that has been released. But you will also find within our videos content here that we do have this playlist function now. This is really handy, and these playlists actually align with our online learning content through our Thinkific courses. This is a great resource for new members who join your team. Or for refreshers for yourself as well. We highly recommend coming in here and having a look, particularly for like your scheduling and for your Astalty for support workers. We do find we get a lot of questions from users about how to train their support worker staff on how to use the application. So from within here, we can actually review all of the particular video content that relates to that particular element. So definitely jump in here and have a look at what's available in those playlists. Again, you'll find that by heading to the videos menu option down the bottom of the user guide and selecting playlists up the top here, and that will provide you with that full breakdown of those playlists that are available. If we also have a look at our training and updates page here, this is where you'll find in your live training, information about how to book in for your session, but also your previous sessions. So for what we have viewed over the past, or what we have completed, sorry, in the past with our live training sessions, you can navigate to this page and you can find those recordings listed here as well. So we do have a lot of updates that we are pushing through to this guide, and we do have a bit of a backlog in updates that we need to add into our user guide content. So please bear with us while we do make that transition of information across to the new user guide. But if you have any feedback or any questions around that, please definitely reach out to us and provide that information. We're always happy to hear feedback on both our actual platform and our user guide content as well. So definitely reach out. While we do have some time available, does anyone have any questions they would like to ask? I do see Ivan's posted something in here. The SMS feature is still new, only applies to participants receiving the SMS reminders at this stage. We are investigating how this can work for participants with contacts who may need to get a reminder SMS for them, e.g. a parent of a participant, child, or a support person for a participant, where the support person and participant need to receive the SMS reminder as well. So that's a really good point. We'll just jump back across to our page here. So our reminders currently only focus on the participant themselves. So that is definitely being investigated as well. But it is important too that when you go to your chat function here, you can create a new conversation. So if you do have a contact that you wanted to reach out to, you can search their details through here. Helps if you have a match. But you can search their content or their user details here, and you can initiate a conversation with them as well. So that is helpful to know there too. Does anyone have any other questions they would like us to cover today? Yes, Sarah, go ahead.
Hi, how are you? I have one in regards to the SMS. Are
Sure.
you able, is there a function where you can set up multiple templates? So as an example, when you showed us before, it could send like, you can edit it how you want it to come across, like friendly reminder, this. Can you set up multiple templates? Because we have programs or just a one-to-one shift. So then example, one SMS in a template could say, friendly reminder, you're booked in for this time. And then as a separate one, it can set up as a template, you're booked into a program. Was that
okay? Yeah, so the way that you would probably look to do that is using the placeholders within here as well. So we have the support type, which may be appropriate in that instance to show exactly what that session would look like. As far as creating multiple types though, at this stage, when you create a reminder, it blocks out the ability to create additional reminders in that place as well. And that's just to make sure that you're not sending out unnecessary duplicate reminders. So definitely have a look through those placeholders, and that will provide a little bit more context then around what that looks like. So you do get your preview there as well. So when you apply those placeholders, it does show a little bit more information around what that particular support is there. So like your personal care, and that's based on the selection that's in the support itself.
Okay.
Hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Any other questions? We've still got a little bit of time, so if you did want to ask anything, please feel free to raise your hand or add something to the chat in Google Meet. No problems at all. We might just jump ahead. If you do have any other questions, any ideas, or you'd like to continue the conversation, please feel free to reach out to us at any time. You can message us at support@astalty.com.au or through that support button in the software, which you'll find at the top of your Astalty browser. That support button allows you to send through a general inquiry, a bug report, or a feature request. So please utilize that wherever you would like to make contact with our team. We do also recommend joining the Astalty community Facebook page as well. So that QR code that's on your screen at the moment, if you scan that, directs you to our Facebook group where many of our users interact on a daily basis there. We also post updates to that page as well where information needs to be shared across our user base. So we do encourage you to have a look and join that group. It's a great opportunity, not just for talking about Astalty, but also for users to interact with each other and build connections and networks. So definitely jump on and join that group when you can. Thank you so much for everyone who has joined us today for this session. I really appreciate your attendance, and I know that it is a big ask to take time out of your very busy days, but we appreciate you joining us and being part of these sessions. We will have another session in a fortnight's time where we will cover an Ask Me Anything segment. So make sure to bring as many questions as you can, and we will cover those off during that session. I'll also send out a reminder to you all the day beforehand, just as a prompt to let you know that that session will be running. But thank you again, everybody. Really appreciate your attendance today, and we hope you have a fantastic week ahead. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.